be taking a look at this PYE 1416 free waveband radio. Now, I bought this a number of years back at a car boot sale, and it lived in my mum's kitchen up until a few years back. Now, what I'm going to be doing today is just taking it apart and giving it a bit of a clean up. Everything seems to work, but as you can see, due to prolonged use in the kitchen, these controls are a little bit notchy and sticky, which is to be expected. So we're going to get it apart and we're going to see if we can clean it up. So we're going to be using some rubbing alcohol and these cotton buds. I'm not sure if rubbing alcohol is the best thing because it does have a bit of water in it, but it's 90% alcohol. And I'm hoping that that would be enough to give it a bit of a clean up. So we'll start with the inside. Looking at this, we have 1, 2, 3 screws. Can't feel any underneath the label. You do sometimes find that they do hide under the labels. So we'll get it apart and we'll see what's what. First off, let's just have a look and see how it splits apart. So it looks like the back does separate out, so I would think I would need to remove these little switches here. So gently prise those upwards if we can. That's gone into orbit. Be a little bit more careful with this one. There we go. And the other one is just down there, so we'll go and fetch that back. There we go. So we can give those a bit of a clean up separately, so we'll put those to one side for now. And we'll start off by removing 3 screws. So there's one. So remember, the black one goes up there. And we've got 2 silver ones which live down in the battery compartment. And they're a lot smaller, so we need to remember that as well. There we go. And looking at this, there is a little notch down the bottom here. So we'll just put this flat blade in there. Oh, there we go. Let's begin to come apart. And that was actually a lot easier than I imagined it would be. Inside doesn't actually look too bad, so it's actually quite clean in here, which is good. So even though it was used in a kitchen, it seems that the majority of kitchen type debris has actually stayed out from inside of it. Now we've got this little top panel here, which, looking at it, is held in with 2 little Phillips screws or crossheads. So we're just going to remove that. You can see it's actually got some of that sort of red sealing sort of resin on there, which is sort of almost sort of like an anti-tamper thing. So, and also it keeps the screws in one place. So let's see if that is enough to allow it to prise this top cover off, or if it's just literally there holding the boards in place, this board rather. It looks like it's actually there just holding the board in place, annoyingly, so not really wanting to disturb the board, I may have to get into those switches with a cotton bud or Q-tip. get into this one first. And it's actually bringing up quite a bit of dirt, which is exactly what we want. So we'll actually go in the top here, and that really allows us to get in there, really get that grime out. So we are talking several years worth of grime here. Very simple little device really. So you've got the AM/FM aerial there, sorry, AM, so medium wave, long wave aerial. You've got the FM aerial here. You've got this little socket here which is for a headphone jack, and you've also got these cables here which go into the battery. You have a little transformer here which connects to this main switch, and that's obviously a step down transformer to reduce the voltage coming in, and that all goes into here. There's a little fuse there which, if that blows, you've got an issue with the supply coming in. Not sure if those are smoothing capacitors or not. We've got a TBA 820L chip. It's also got 87914 on it, so I'm not sure if that's some kind of rectifier or not. I'm sure someone will be able to tell me in the comments, or I can look it up online a bit later. And obviously we've got various potentiometers around here. We've got what I think is the main tuning potentiometer. So obviously if you rotate this, there is a little piece of string which pretty much sort of guides the needle along the scale on the front, and there will be a huge wheel underneath here which will connect to that. That's pretty much what does all the tuning. I have in the past adjusted some of these, not on this particular one but on an older radio, to actually boost amplification of certain signals. So there probably will be an amplifier chip around here somewhere, or transistor rather, for amplification purposes for the speaker itself. It may be on the underside of this board. So as it is in such nice order, I'm not actually going to go underneath the board itself because I don't want to disturb anything. This really is just a simple clean-up exercise. So, that potentiometer, sliding potentiometer for this is coming up rather well. So that is coming up quite nicely. That's a lot smoother than it was. So let's have a go at this one. It's particularly dirty. So we'll get in there, a bit of dust to get rid of. Wrong end. Right. There we go. Another one in there. Yeah, that's coming up particularly well actually. Yeah, it's definitely beginning to come together quite nicely. Should make the volume control a bit less crackly as well. You can use Actually, it's preferable to use circuit cleaner on these, but I'm using this alcohol-based stuff here because I don't have any circuit cleaner to hand, unfortunately, but that's not a problem. And that's a lot better. Yeah, that slides a lot happier now. So the next one is these buttons here, and let's have a look. We might be able to prise those off and clean them directly. So let's see. I don't really want to damage this at all. So I'm not going to force anything more than it wants to be forced. What we will do is we'll use some of this to clean off this bit of felt here, which is like a little sort of dust shield, really. And you can see over the years it has actually collected quite a bit of rubbish and stopped it from entering the unit itself. We'll give that a bit of a clean there, and we'll also do the underside of these buttons like so. It's quite obvious they don't really want to move, and we'll just run that along the outside. And if we press that in, it gives us a bit more access to the other sides of the buttons. So this one here is actually the power switch. These ones are multiple select for the tuning. So you've got VHF, which is FM, medium wave and long wave, or the other way around. So it is really just a very simple, old-fashioned setup, but it works very effectively. And this was offered back in a time when you could still buy radios that were medium and long wave only. So this would have been probably one of the more expensive offerings for a portable radio. In together nicely. Just makes it all that much cleaner, generally a bit more pleasant. So let's see if that will pop off. Yes, so I can actually pop off these buttons. These ones seem to want to, well, that one certainly wanted to move. This one not quite so easy, but it has moved. Let's try a bigger flat blade on it. If it doesn't want to go, leave it. But it does mean that we can get into there, just clean out that grime. And clean the grime off of these as well. Now let's see if we can get these out. Let's use the small one again. let's see what we can do with those. So rather pleasingly, I've managed to get all 4 of these buttons off. So we'll get into where they sit with this. Get rid of some of that greasy sort of substance that's in there. Thankfully my parents are not one for weren't one for a lot of fried food, so the occasional bacon and egg sandwich and that was it. But there's no deep fat fryer in the kitchen or anything like that. So thankfully this isn't as disgusting as some kitchen based electricals I've seen in the past. And probably a good reason why it is still working rather well. So these are clean here. There we go. That's looking a lot better. So we'll clean off what looks like just dust around this. Also clean up inside here as well. A bit of broken plastic from somewhere, not sure where, but probably been rattling around in there for a number of years. And down into there, around here. Down in the depths here. Mainly all just dust now, actually. Now the tuner wheel, as we don't ever see all of it on the outside, we can actually use this opportunity to give that quite a nice clean. Just work into these grooves with a cotton bud. Hopefully this will allow us to get the whole lot. This was only ever tuned into Radio 4, so it's very rarely moved, to be honest with you. It's usually used to listen to the Archers or Woman's Hour or something. And I think we've got to get all of that. So, those 2 little screws that I removed earlier, mistakenly thinking they were more than they actually were. Let's put those back in so we don't forget them. Never need to go too tight on these things, as it's only plastic. You don't want to, particularly on this age, if the plastic is a bit brittle, you don't want to be over tightening and cracking it. So we've got a cloth here, and what we're going to do is just move this out of the way and grab these buttons. And we've also got the volume and tone control as well. So a bit of alcohol on there. And let's generally work that into all of the buttons. I'm hoping that when we lift this off, they will look a lot cleaner, which they really do actually. They do look a lot better. So I'll put those away out there to dry. And there's 4 of these in total. I think it probably helped that we cleaned a lot of the gunk off in situ. In fact, that's a really good point. So do that one to each one. So just get into there and there. Areas that you won't normally get into, so it's always a good idea just to there we go. Now we've got these ones, so which is looking okay. Let's actually see if we can. Yeah, that's good. That's actually bringing back that little red notch marker on it as well. Little red marker thing. Let's see if this one comes back at all. Oh yeah, look at that. That's good. So to get anything in there with anything more abrasive or pointy than a Q-tip, and look at that. That's, I don't know if you can see that on camera, but that has brought back the little red indentation. So I'll try and do the same on this one actually. In fact, because this is a bit saturated with that rubbing alcohol, I don't need to dip the cotton buds at all. That's looking good. So probably eventually I could actually get a little bit of that Humbrol model paint and a very, very fine tooth paintbrush and just touch up these. That'll be a job for another day. Ultimately it's just giving this a clean for now, just seeing how things go. So this is the battery back. What's quite unusual actually is this foam backing isn't disintegrating. You know, a lot of these foam backings actually disintegrate, but that is in really good shape. It's probably because this machine has spent most of its life being run off of mains. It hasn't actually run off of the batteries at all, certainly not in our ownership, and we probably got it when it was about probably sort of 10 years old or so. And you would typically sort of buy these sort of things to use in a kitchen anyway, where there was going to be ample supply of power. There we go. And just the final into there on these volume and tone control. Get rid of that ingrained filth that's there. That's better. There. Yeah, looking better already. Right, so let's refit the buttons. So we got power, which is this one. There we go. We have this one, which is VHF. This one, which is medium wave. And this one, which is long wave. There we go. And check they all sit level, which they do. Right, let's put the back on. Actually, before we do that, clean off this handle. Somewhere we won't get into again unless we take it apart, so clean that off. And this side. there's a bit of dust in here as well, which we can just clean off. Bit of grime there, which probably use this cotton bud on. And this side as well. Strangely not as much around there. And this outer grime will attack shortly, but where this connects in, you can gently get rid of some of that there, around there. That's the area. And we'll just put this back together, so making sure not to snag any of the wires which are in there. We can very gently put this back together. There we go, and no wires are snagged. So there we go, got 2 silver ones in the battery compartment. So that's going in like so. And got this black one up here. Like so. General wipe over now. Nothing drastically exciting, but just helps to, finish it off. So let's have a look at this. Perfect. That's that one. Let's flip her around. There we go. This nice wood finish on the front, which, well, it isn't wood, it's fake wood, but it would be quite interesting to actually see if I can repair that at some point. There's a bit of paint on here. It's obviously been there from when a kitchen was painted at some point, and surprisingly that is actually coming off. With a bit of a rub. There's something quite disgusting in there. Not sure what that is. Ugh. I'm surprised that's actually come off. So let's see if we can do anything with this paint that's on there. So we'll use a Q-tip. cotton bud, whatever you want to call it. And we will work that into this paint, and oh my goodness, that is actually doing something. That's really good, look at that. That is dissolving that a treat. And after a short time, finish with a wipe off and just a fingernail to scrape that remaining bit. There's no paint apart from that bit, which we're going to do the same with for there. So, alcohol. Work it into the paint, like so. And quite shortly after working into the paint, you can see that it's starting to break down the paint itself. I'm just turning it into a sort of a liquidy, gummy residue. And a little bit more over here and here and into that. General wipe off. That's looking a lot better already. So the next spot is there. So same process again, I think. Be a bit more careful with this, as it's actually potentially taking that wood away as well. So, with the wood finish, and by wood I mean plastic wood. There we go. So we do need to do something with that at some point, so that'll be quite a nice little project. We'll have to work out what we can do with that. And have a look a bit up here. We also need to do something with this silver finish around the tuner window, so that'd be quite nice to attack as well. So same on that one, you can see that is beginning to break down that little paint spot already. In a slightly awkward area, so I need to work it in, just squeezing it a little bit more. But that has come up quite nicely. Little ones on the plastic faceplate now. There we go. That's a really annoying sound, but off it comes. We'll do this one up here. Gone. And now these two, I think. That's actually coming off with the fingernail. This one should. That's a bit of dirt there. We'll use that to get that out. And there. Oh, that's actually coming away slightly, so may need to actually get inside this again at some point just to glue that back in place, but just for today, just a general clean up, improve functionality. And it actually seems that rubbing alcohol has damaged ever so slightly this plastic panel. So that's something that I will want to look into, to actually removing that residue. However, it has, on the whole, actually cleaned the rest of the unit up quite nicely. So let's put these sliders back on. They were that way, I think. There we go. And there we go. Now the aerial. So we're going to pull the aerial up. Literally for the aerial, I'm just going to clean it like so. Nothing more, nothing less. There we go. Right, we'll leave that fully extended so it's got time to dry. And put the back on. Oh, that's actually, looks like it's actually coming away. So that may have been something in the cotton bud that was leaving that. But yeah, that looks a lot better already actually. Right, there we go. Right, we'll get it plugged in and we'll see if it works. Right, there we go. Let's get it turned on and see what we can get out of it. There we go.
Unite and take over. So they have to make sure they stand in that order.
I think he's absolutely right. I mean,
Right indeed, Ellie. Commentary continuing on Test Match Special, 5 Live Sports Extra. Bolton Wanderers begin.
There's an element of risk, but certainly when I look at him, it's it.
Women's Open is Ian Carter.
and she's off to a good start as well, coaxing home a 10-footer slippery downhill putt for a bird.
After the Interfaith Council, there was a big thunderstorm, remember? I'd been riding shotgun with Michael at the end of a long shift. Not a night to be on around. Transplant surgeons will be happy there. What do they call it?
And there we go. That seems to work well. Let's put the aerial down now. Anyway, if you found that video interesting, don't forget to hit that like button. And also consider subscribing for more upcoming fascinating hobbies. Thanks for watching.